co-host of the Doomsday Podcast with my friend Ed Werder. Let's start with this. Even Joy Taylor, who supports him, said, listen, there's a point where you support somebody, but it may not be perfect, but it seems like now a reasonable offer to Dak. Is that what people in Dallas believe?
Well, I think they would probably not be where you are, which I heard earlier today. You were ready to ride with Andy Dalton. I don't think anybody's quite there. Although it may be growing a little bit. And I get it. 45 million sounds exorbitant. I mean, these numbers get thrown around. I don't know if we've ever had a great feel for where all this is. But the thing you got to remember is Jerry, it's like he's a father to these people. When they found this player in the fourth round, in his mind, it's a very Romo-like. He loves the story, the narrative, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're just being sort of bloodless and look at this, you go, yeah, why don't you play this thing out? See what you get on the open market. I'm just telling you, on July 15th, that deadline, this deal gets done. But I understand the apprehension and everybody that Russell Wilson deserves more money. But again, he's already gotten his contract done. He was, in bed with Sierra, the whole fun thing. Dak has not. Dak's waited, and he has Jerry exactly where he wants him. And this will be an enormous deal. And if the Cowboys truly want a 5-year deal, they're going to have to beef up that fifth year. We've always known this could end up being as much as Russell Wilson was going to make.
So why did they bring Andy Dalton in, who's a reasonable talent facsimile to Dak? I mean, I think it was to get some leverage back, was it not?
I don't think they ever looked at it like that. I think Andy, after all those years in Cincinnati, his kids go to school here. He wanted 1 year here. Let's reestablish, see if he can get some marketability, and then next year go get a big paycheck or whatever. It's a 1-year deal. I don't think now it is nice to have a competent backup. They've gone far too long. They've had Cooper Rush back there. They have not really done well. And that's Jerry has gotten so mad at Jason in the past when he went with inferior backup. So while it's important, I don't sense that it has a lot to do with Dak. But a lot of people were offended. I mean, Dez thought, how could you offend? I mean, Dez is for some reason, he's like our biggest commentator around here. He gets on Twitter and goes crazy. He was offended. He thought Dak should be offended. I'll just say this. Dak is a very, very calm and cool character, and none of this has fazed him. And he will let this thing play out. And then again, about July 14th, this deal gets done. And it will, and it'll be an enormous deal. And there'll be people, oh, that's too much, that's too much. But let's remember, in 5 years, think about how much can change. To get him to go from the 4 years he wants to 5 years, this might be the jump you need. Might $45 million, while it sounds huge right now, not be such an insane price in 5 years.
LeBron James, Cowboys offered him a deal, 2011. I think it's a lot of nonsense and PR stuff because I think LeBron was a great high school football player, but he's not even a physical NBA player. I don't think he wants to block and get hit and hit. I don't buy into the nonsense, but was it a real story, do you think?
You don't think he's a physical NBA player?
I think
because
I think he likes to shoot three. As the biggest, strongest, fastest guy in the league, Dwayne Wade attacks the rim and attacks bigger players. LeBron would rather settle for a 28-foot fall away. I think he's big. I don't think he's tough.
I think at times he bulls his way to the hoop. He's shown it. Now, how would he have been for the Cowboys? I think you're right. This is some kind of publicity deal. I'm surprised Jerry has not jumped all over this and said, oh, here's the contract and it's another 24 hours. This is a fun deal. Do I think he would have been a great football player in 2011? No. You can't do it that quickly. Could he have been some unbelievable wide receiver or a target or something if he had done this coming out of high school? You bet. But, I mean, I've heard the way they used him in high school. They were throwing little out routes to just get him out of bounds. I mean, they were trying not to get him hurt, so there was no way he was going to pull that off. I mean, this was, to me, The Last Dance was getting so much attention. This felt like, to me, LeBron was kind of like, oh, man. Michael's getting all the attention. I kind of need to weigh in here with something. And I think LeBron was missing all the attention and a little bit of that. And so I think that played into him bringing that up.
Hey, Dak and McCarthy, are they even Zoom talking? Are they doing anything? I never hear about this relationship at all.
It's a lot like the two of us. It's a DM-only relationship. And I think at some point they will move to the next step. I don't know how often they talk. He does not strike me as a particularly like Jason Garrett, while he kind of had that bloodless, robotic look about him. Jason Garrett loved those players. He loved reaching out to them. He loves saying, these are my kind of guys. I think McCarthy has come in here and said, you are going to have to prove it to me. Now, that doesn't mean he's playing any role in this contract. Don't hear me wrong. I don't think he's played any role in that. But you're right to say this is not so far a warm and fuzzy deal. And nobody's telling him what to do. I think that's interesting. I think this guy's come in here and he's not letting Steven and Jerry tell him what to do. And by the way, we're all happy Jerry is back in his office at the Star, and all seems right with the world. The Texas economy is back running in the right direction because Jerry is back in place. We feel very good about it.
Good stuff. All right, let's grow our relationship beyond DMing. You could always come to California, and we would take you to lunch and dinner. We would love to do that. It'll be on the company.
Okay, I'll drive out there. I'm not doing a lot of flights right now, but yeah, we'll load up the family and head out there. Like the Clampetts.
Matt Mosley, one of my favorite people. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.